China is taking no chances a week ahead of the Chinese New Year holiday and the Winter Olympics. Beijing is stepping up mass testing as it reports 6 new local COVID cases, an increase for the 7th straight day. The infections are all amongst games-related personnel. 4 provinces have also detected cases linked to the capital. Live to Olivia Xi'an in a moment, but first a look at how authorities are trying to control the holiday travel rush.
One of China's longest COVID-19 lockdowns is over. Most restrictions in the northern megacity of Xi'an have been lifted after daily cases slowed to single digits. Public transport and economic activity have fully resumed, and residents with a clean bill of health can now leave Xi'an. The good news comes just in time for the Chinese New Year holiday next week. Tens of millions of people are set to travel in what's known as the world's largest annual human migration.
在2楼端检的位置增设了无接触式的自助快递柜儿。旅客如果出行中携带了一些不便于乘坐火车的东西，比如说香水啊、指甲油、剪刀这一些，大家可以通过扫码自助办理的方式将物品邮寄到目的地。
But many reunion plans have been thrown in limbo as several major cities grapple with outbreaks. Some, like Beijing, have doubled down on movement restrictions. But the government wants to avoid a full-scale lockdown of the capital ahead of the Winter Olympics. It's been urging residents to stay put during the Chinese New Year holiday.
尽量就少出门呗，是吧？那你现在你也没办法，对吧？你说躲避你也躲避不过去，对吧？
Several districts in the capital have started mass testing for key groups, including construction workers, people working in the cold chain industry, and delivery staff. All 2 million residents of Fengtai district have been screened after a local Delta outbreak involving frozen food workers was found there.
And Olivia Xi'an joins us live. Olivia, what's the mood like in Beijing? How concerned are authorities ahead of the Winter Olympics?
Well, Wei Su, there is a sense that Beijing is really on edge. We are now less than 2 weeks away from the start of the Winter Olympics that will be held here. And even though the number of locally transmitted cases is falling, the concern really is Beijing. Today, reporting 9 new locally confirmed cases. This brings the total number of cases in this wave to 52 in the last 9 days. And health authorities, though, are saying that while the outbreak in Beijing is severe and complicated, it maintains that this outbreak is under control. Now, Beijing is dealing with both the transmissible Omicron and Delta variants. It claims its spread is related to cold chain logistics. Authorities say the Omicron spread seems to have been controlled for now, with none of the new local cases that are being reported of this more transmissible variant. But the concern is also that a number of nearby provinces to Beijing have reported cases linked to this Beijing cluster as well. The other concern is the large arrival of participants from overseas for these Winter Olympic Games that start on February 4th. And they are continuing to arrive. Over 70 COVID-19 cases among these participants have been detected so far, including one that's a team member. Now, we do not know whether this individual is an athlete or an official. The breakdown does not tell us that, but organizers are saying that the fact that cases are being detected shows that the prevention measures that have been put in place are working. So all participants that are arriving in Beijing are being placed under a closed-loop environment, meaning that they will not be allowed to have any contact with the wider community here in Beijing. They are also required to do daily COVID-19 testing and to take designated flights into the Chinese capital.
Olivia, now these prevention measures you mentioned, they have been stepped up given these concerns. Do you expect these measures to continue?
Well, we have to remember that even though these case numbers seem relatively low, especially as we compare them to many other countries around the world, we have to remember that China is still holding on to its zero COVID policy. And so we hear Beijing authorities say today at a press briefing that the capital must take, quote, the most decisive and strict measures to stop the spread of the virus. And so we know that several districts here in Beijing are conducting mass testing on key key groups of people, including those involved in cold chain logistics, as it believes that infections are related to those working in this industry. The district of Fengtai, which has completed a round of screening for its population of about 2 million people, is about to do another round of mass testing starting from tomorrow, giving you a sense of how seriously authorities are taking this. And we are talking about residents lining up in freezing cold temperatures. We had snow over the weekend. Residents lining up outside to get tested. Other measures have also been announced. Those who buy cough medicine or fever medicine in the last 14 days are now required to get tested within 72 hours for COVID-19. If not, the health codes on their phone may be affected, and this will affect daily life, as this health code is needed to enter buildings and malls and to go about many daily activities as well. And those in risk areas have been told not to leave the city. But what may raise some eyebrows or may seem contrary to what's happening here in Beijing is that we have seen the IOC, the Olympics organizers, now saying that they are relaxing some of the prevention measures for those in the closed-loop participants of the Winter Olympics. This includes reducing the threshold for being designated positive from PCR tests. Also, close contacts will be traced for a 7-day instead of a 14-day period. And this comes as experts have said that these very strict requirements that games organizers are imposing could mean many athletes, if they test positive, may not be able to take part in the games due to these strict requirements that are in place.
Oh, thanks for that, Olivia. Olivia Xiong there for us there in Beijing.